Slip lot of city owner told me is the collar. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. 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 It's the show you gotta see. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. 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 You gotta see, Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories swirl round. Trolls are everywhere, they abound. They abound. They abound. They abound. It's the show you gotta see. Tommy Temper is the guy. Ask yourself the question why. Conspiracy theories. Well. Another day. More stuff happening in the world. Charlie Kirk. Big news of the day. Unfortunately, he's being unalived. Not a good situation. I don't have anything good to say about it at all. Lots of trolls out there that are trying to push the narrative there, trying to say that other right wingers should also be unalived, and even people saying that now I've got a target on my back. Shame on you for saying something like that. But even I feel vulnerable being a right winger, being a podcaster, and saying the things that I do. We have to now be walking down the street looking behind my back like, what the hell's going on here? This is a terrible situation that the world has turned into. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. He was a pretty vocal guy, and I guess a lot of people didn't like what he said. But I watched a lot of his videos, and he definitely let other people speak their piece. He was like a listener, like me, a listener. He let you, if you come on my show, you can say what you want, and I'll listen to what you have to say, and then I will come back with what I think about what you have to say. But, does that mean you have to take somebody out because of their opinion? The left in this world have gone berserk. Why do they need to pull out weapons and start shooting people? And, you've got these school shootings, too, that are done by left people that they feel like they've been hard done by, and now they have to take out people in society. It is unbelievable. Yeah. Why threaten me? I have been threatened. Absolutely. People have said, one guy in particular yesterday said, well, you've got a target on your back. Those exact words. So what does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Like, that's unbelievable what people are doing out there. Totally unbelievable. What we have tonight, or this morning rather, is when I got up, it was dark out here. But now the sun is finally out and shining here where I am here in Alberta, Canada. And we've got the conference that is going to be starting here right away. And we will be picking it up here live, coming to you on the investigation. Of officials basically are going to be providing an update on Charlie Kirk, on the shooting, on the investigation. And apparently Trump has said that he knows a little bit about that. Let me just flip to this one here and show you what Trump has to say about the issue here. And then we'll get an update from the actual officials.
And I just love moment of silence of the Yankee game, moment of silence of the Redskin game, Commanders game last night, because they understand this doesn't matter who you voted for. This was a special person. And I just love moment of silence of the Yankee game, moment of silence of the Redskin game.
Actually, this
Commanders
isn't
game
the
last
well.
night, because they
Basically,
understand
Trump has said that they have Kirk, the suspect, in custody. So, and apparently, the word is that his father is the one that turned him in. Is the information that we have at this moment. There were pictures that went around and enhanced pictures and whatever of the apparent assassinator. And let me just show you a couple of scenes here. Now we'll have this in the background here, the visual. And when this comes on, we'll bring it to you. But we'll show you a couple of scenes here of what actually happened. Here we see. Let's see if I can bring it up here. This shot here, this is a shot of the building, and on the top of the building is where the assailant was located, and that's where he shot from. Let me just hang on a second here. Let me just bring this down a little bit here. Okay, if you look at the very top of the shot there, you can see the assailant right about this location here. You can see the assailant, the little vertical line on the top of the building. That's him. And that was right after he took the shots, and he was running. He was actually over on the other side of the building. There is where he took the shots from. And then he ran behind this piece on the top of the building over to this area here. And then he jumped off of the building right at this point right here. Let's see if we can see that in this shot here. There you can see him running off to the side of the building. He jumps off the building, and he actually hurts his ankle. If you look closely, he limps a little bit right there, and then he limps off over to the side of the building. There we can see the shot again here. But note that he must have injured his ankle or something there as he jumped off of the building. And he still had the gun with him at this time, probably in that bag that he's carrying there. You can see that. I don't know if that was his backpack or a bag that he had with the backpack. I mean, I think he has the backpack still on there. And then he has the gun in kind of covered in that black blanket or bag or something there. Because the gun was found over in the trees over in the direction to the right there. So that was basically the shot of what happened. And now we're waiting for the conference here to find out what exactly happened. A little bit of an update on the whole situation. Thanks a lot for dropping us or joining us here today. We have lots of people in the shot there. Sun Honey, Red Mama in there, K9 Gaming, a lot of our friends, ABD in there. Good to see you. I'm reading some of your comments there, but we're trying to give you an update on what's happening here. And some of the people that are saying things about the shooting are just ridiculous, and a lot of them are people that are in the teaching, like professors, teachers in schools, and those are the people that are really being called out, because those are the people that are teaching your children and my children. And they're saying some pretty despicable things about Charlie. I didn't really watch him a whole lot, but I watched him enough to know what he was, what he would talk about. And, basically he would go to universities and set up a booth and have a couple of microphones, one for him and one for the students. And the students would basically come up to the microphone and debate with him, ask him questions or say things to him. And on the debate, he would let them say their piece, and then he would debate back to them. Now, keep in mind, he's a Christian man, so he has so-called Christian morals. So he doesn't really believe in a lot of the things that the people on the left believe in, like transgenderism and things like that. So he was pretty polarized on his thoughts, and pretty much like I'm pretty similar to him, although I'm more flexible, in that what you do in your bedroom is your business. It's not my business. I don't really care about it. I don't really care to talk about it. And the chat likes the pepper LG stuff in there and whatever. And I'm like, I don't care what you do, but keep it to yourself, keep it in your bedroom, and you do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, and otherwise we can debate about what happens. No problem with that. But just remember that everyone has their own point of view. Yeah, right, Red Mama. He loved open discussion and debate. Yeah, exactly. And there's no reason that because somebody loves that they should be killed. Like, it was unbelievable that this happened. And it's almost like he's turned into a martyr. It's unbelievable. And you've got people like this here that are now collecting information from people. Ryan Fournier posts here, I'm having too much fun getting people fired from their jobs over their posts praising Charlie's assassination. I won't stand for that. 8 down, many more to go. And even Donald Trump has come out and said that if he finds out that you are saying disparaging things about Charlie, for example, if you're from another country like Canada, for example, and Canadians, there are lots of Canadians, teachers and professors that have come out with some pretty negative and hurtful things about this whole thing. And Donald Trump has said, well, yeah, I find out about that, you're going to have a hard time coming into the United States. You'll be banned from coming into the United States. So keep that in mind, too, that Donald Trump is really pissed off about this whole thing happening. I think everybody, if you're not pissed off that this happened, there's something wrong with you, honestly. Honestly. And I know that somebody in the chat here, first thing that I saw in the chat was this comment here, right here from Bjorn Climber saying, oh shit, MAGA about to have a fit now. You know what I mean? No, people that are right wingers are not having a fit. The people that are having a fit are the left wingers. They're the ones that are going berserk. The amount of stuff out on the internet about what is going on is absolutely ridiculous. This one right here, yeah, you've got this Canadian outfit that gets funded by the government, as a matter of fact. Read this story here. I'm sickened to know that the Canadian government has provided money to Cult Montreal, MTL. This is absolutely disgusting and unacceptable. Mark Carney has to answer to this right here. Cult says Charlie Kirk died as he lived, propagating hateful myths about marginalized groups in our society. He didn't propagate hateful myths. He just spoke the truth. The same as I get on here and I just speak the truth. And sometimes people don't like what I say, but just because you don't like what I say, that doesn't mean that it's not the truth. He was a profiteer
check 1 2 Mike
and an architect of America's increasingly violent culture war.
Mike 1 2
Reap
3
what you
4
sow.
5 6 7 8
The hell
9,
with
10.
Charlie
check
Kirk.
1 2 1 2
The hell
3,
with
4.
Cult Montreal. They're doing a bit of a mic check there right now. So the actual, and this will be coming to us live here this morning. After the mic check, we'll be able to see the actual officials providing us an update on Charlie Kirk, the shooting and the investigation and where we're at. But apparently they have actually caught the assassin, and it was his father that turned him in, apparently. there were a couple of other people, persons of interest that they had captured, arrested, whatever, or detained, and they let those two people go. There was one older fellow that I saw, and then there was another guy, but both of those people were let go. This guy here was a bit of a younger guy. There was also something out there on the internet about a music bit that was produced, and it looked like they had come up with the information about him, and that information, I don't know if it's true or not. We'll have to find out whether or not it is, whether it was the actual assassin that produced a music clip before the whole thing happened. Let's listen to this clip right here, coming in from Nick Fuentes. He loses his patience. If your gut reaction to seeing somebody take a bullet in the neck and their head explode is to celebrate, you must be defeated. You must be destroyed, says Nick. Let's listen to him here.
These people that are now selling T-shirts with Charlie Kirk and a bullet wound in his neck, they cannot be negotiated with. You cannot debate with them. You cannot persuade them to vote Republican. You cannot appeal to them. You will never convince them that you're a good person, that you just want the best for everybody. You will never get them to stop hating you. People like to say, well, can the left finally admit that they have their own problem? They'll never admit that. They'll never admit that. These craven losers, that person that when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, instinctually got up and turned and celebrated, they have to be defeated. We can't change their minds. We can't invite them to change our minds. We can't negotiate with them. We can't invite them for a political compromise. If your gut reaction to seeing someone take a bullet in the neck and their face explode, and their young children run up to them because they were afraid of the noise, if your reaction was to grin and celebrate, you must be defeated. You must be destroyed. You must be identified, you must be isolated, and you must be eradicated from our society. Not Democrats, not leftists, not liberals, those people that would celebrate in that moment. That is pure evil, pure malice. There is no charity in a person's heart. I don't care who it is, who sees anybody get their neck exploded and celebrate like that. That's the kind of evil we're dealing with. That's the kind of evil that has taken over our society. It has become too common. People have let it fester. Like with Luigi Mangione, they thought it was cute. They thought it was glib. And look at what we have now. We are on the verge of full-on political violence and civil war. I don't think people realize what that looks like. There's going to be a lot of children without mothers and fathers, a lot of mothers and fathers grieving their dead children. I don't want that. Nobody should want that. But when it comes to evil people, cowardly, weak, evil people that snipe at Trump, at Charlie Kirk, like the gunman that came to my house last year. Unfortunately, it's not always up to us which battles we fight. When they show up to your front door, when they take shots.
Yeah. That's Nick. Apparently, I didn't know that, but apparently he had a gunman come up to his door as well. Yeah, well, people have said that now I've got a target on my back. So how do you think I feel? You know, being a right-wing podcaster, I'm not a very big guy, and who the hell knows about Tommy Temper or whatever. But, you know, for people to say that to me about me, I feel pretty vulnerable as well. So not a good situation. And I think that that if that's the way that society is going, what is that? Is that the left by way of using bullets? It's like the right wingers use words, right? I can get on here and I can speak, but I don't talk about taking somebody out or shooting them or killing them. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But it seems like the left wingers are not only talking about doing that, but they're actually doing that. Look at how many attempts there have been at Donald Trump's life. How many attempts were there at Biden's life, for example? Now you've got Nick, who's had a gunman come after him. You've got this situation where Charlie Kirk is being killed. It's an unbelievable situation. Not great at all. We have to stop this. Like, what's happening with society? So it's not a matter of like, I see that the people are talking about.
Hello,
let's
testing,
listen
testing.
here.
Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll leave the audio turned up there so that when it does come on, we'll be able to hear it. But we're absolutely in a situation where the world is, people on the right are absolutely worried about being unalived. Like, how ridiculous is that? And it's not a matter of, now the right-wing people, like in the chat there, Cam has said, the right-wingers are canceling culture. Oh, yeah. We're trying to get professors removed from their jobs for what they say. Well, it's pretty despicable for people to go and go, oh, I'm happy that that happened. No, I don't think you should be happy about that. You should be sad that it happened, because it's a pretty bad reflection of where we are in society. And it's something that's actually terrible. Partibonza says, Edward Cam, you're just foaming at the mouth that conservatives aren't rioting. Yeah, if this was some kind of a left winger that got taken out, the left wing Antifa, Black Bloc, and all the rest of it, they'd be burning down buildings and rioting out on the streets, all across America, But you don't see that. The right wingers don't do that. The right wingers sit back and look at the left wingers and go, let's see what they're saying about this. And it's absolutely despicable, the things that they're saying. It's gotten to be like an irrational thing that's going on here. Like, there's this clip right here that I've got where, let me see this one here. Breaking, numerous clips of Hassan Piker. If you know Hassan Piker, he's on, I think he's on, Twitch. He's a podcaster over there. Numerous clips of Piker calling on his viewers to kill right-wingers are going viral after the slaying of Charlie Kirk, with calls for immediate arrest for fomenting violence. Twitch refuses to take any kind of action against him. I've got this bit of a clip right here. Hang on. Let me just...
younger viewers that, grow up on TikTok, when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even though they shouldn't be.
3, it's like, I'm sick and tired of it. Left wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this? You cannot have a bigger fucking layup. You could not have had a bigger fucking layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker. Sure, he was prepared very well. And Herschel Walker actually had a good...
thing we do need to make sure
It's like pieces of shit like that should be taken right off of social media. Unbelievable.
We got to keep attracting younger viewers that, grow up on TikTok, when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even though they shouldn't be.
3, it's like all here. Now this guy's down. He's dead. These guys are like...
and fatally wounded.
They're not even like... they're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well, we brought the
It's
white...
called shock, you fucking idiots. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know. Jesus.
You know, these podcasters, left-wing podcasters, are absolutely despicable for the things that they say. You know, they should have their accounts completely removed.
It's fucking Christ.
Flags. We can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot in his actually, right?
Flag.
And then this guy...
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude. I'm sick and tired of it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable what these people have to say. And they're out there. So, yeah, you might not, you might say, oh, yeah, the right-wingers are blowing up now over this and cancel culture and all the rest of it. Do these guys that are saying stuff like that deserve to have a platform? Like, unbelievable. We're a couple of minutes away from the actual update. The officials are going to be providing an update on the Charlie Kirk shooting investigation. Apparently, they have caught the suspect. His father apparently turned him in, and they're going to be giving us an update as to exactly where they are with the whole investigation. So we're right on top of it here. This is coming to us live. I'm not sure where the location is, where they're broadcasting from, but could very well be Washington, D.C. I'm not sure. But anyways, we have the feed coming in here for us here. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I need some protection over here. So what is it? Do I need more protection than I already have? Like, this is getting ridiculous. Nuts and Crackers, good to see you in there. Got Partibonza in there. Red Mama. John in there. Brandon Mitchell. They've been brainwashed at this point. Yeah, there's something wrong with these people. It's like they're so far left that they're, like, would you call them extreme left? Like, so many of the people on the left are actually extremists for them to be saying stuff like that. It's just unbelievable. Meanwhile, the people on the right are just going about their day and just saying, well, yeah, you guys are this and you're that, and you think this and you think that. And, yeah, I don't really agree with the way you think, and I don't agree with maybe how many sexes there are or how many genders there are and stuff like that. But does that mean that you're going to go out and take somebody's life because they don't agree with you or the way that you think or the way that you live? Enigma, based on diverse sources like ADL reports, right-wing extremists committed minus 90%, about 90 minus, not plus, minus 95% of extremist-related murders in the U.S. from 2020 to 2024. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I see, people dying and then people going, that's a far-right extremist that did that. I don't see that. Somehow, and the news is extremely left-wing, so if that was happening, you would see those stories all the time happening. But I don't see that. But whatever, I suppose if I did some kind of a search on it, a Grok search, come up with some information. But it's not a matter of how many people. It doesn't matter whether you're extreme right or extreme left. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be taking anybody's life at all. Whether it's right wingers or left wingers, it should just stop. We need to stop this. People shouldn't be taking anybody's lives, and we need to put a stop to this completely. It's a shame that this happened. And this is a pretty big story because when you see that Vance was actually carrying his casket as they were leaving, right here is a shot of that happening. And you can see J.D. Vance right at the front there carrying the casket. And I don't know if it shows a shot of his wife here, maybe right at the end here. Over to the left, you'll be able to see Charlie Kirk's wife, who is holding her hands over her face. This is his Charlie Kirk's casket being taken away from or being loaded onto the airplane to be taken home. But just unbelievable. Unbelievable that this happened. Okay, there you can see Charlie Kirk's wife in there with her hand over her face to the left there. Not good. Not good at all. Here you've got this guy. This guy here, Christopher Rispoli, the woke owner of Gentle Care Animal Hospital in Edmond, Oklahoma, suggested on social media that people should be inspired to kill more people after Charlie Kirk.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
He is only the first.
At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just stop at this point and we'll listen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired
Antifa
casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica,
I hope not,
Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
That's right, Jim.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
No attacking in the chat.
Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude
for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation.
Absolute
You're
atrocity.
looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here.
I don't know that you can stop something like that, Jim.
I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state.
Brandon.
And all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie.
Can't blame the police.
And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours.
That's right, Troy.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes.
Yeah, no need to hate.
Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country.
Better be.
But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
This level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor,
Yeah,
you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
That's right, Becky.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes. So right now, Mr.
Edward.
Robinson has been booked into the Utah
Cam,
County
you're
Jail.
the problem.
You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody. That his family
You're
and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a loading?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Yeah, too bad I'm in Canada.
We, I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here.
It was Mauser, 30-06.
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. Yeah, I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate or do we find an off ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions.
Yeah, Becky, I've heard that. I think it's like that.
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened. Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes. Yeah, so I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, that's right, Becky. There were videos of people that saw somebody on the roof and even pointed, did a video, and you could see their finger pointing at the people at the roof, but did they do anything about it? I don't know. All we know is that if anything did happen, it didn't happen soon enough. Wow, that was quite the update. I think we know a little bit more now, and due to the inscriptions on the bullets, we know a little bit more about what the thoughts are, you know, from the shooter. And he didn't like, obviously, one of them was the word gay, and there were the 3 arrows of Antifa and fascist and things like that. So, you know what was on the mind of the shooter. And yeah, he definitely, oh, hang on here. Let me bring my studio on here. This is outside my window where we have the birds out there enjoying the day. It's the morning here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where I am. But that was the whole show. That was the update. Officials have provided us an update on what's happening. His father turned him in, and he definitely changed his clothes. He hid the gun. The gun was a Mauser long range with scope 30-06 rifle. And I think they said it was a single shot type gun. But anyways, that's the basic update of the whole thing. I could sit here and bring up a whole bunch of things, you know, that were said that were like negative and whatever on X or whatever. Oh, hang on here. Like, for example, this right here. I've watched the video over and over like 50 times by now, and not the far away video, the close-up video. Love every fraction of a second of it, and it gets better with every watch. So you've got, you know, just sickos out there on the internet that are posting crap like that, and it you know, I could bring up a ton of stuff like that and call out you know, a whole bunch of people on the left that are saying things like that. But the worst part of it for me is that you know, somebody yesterday said, oh yeah, and it was on the Ryan Jesperson show here in Edmonton, one of his chatters, which Ryan Jesperson, he's kind of centrist but left leaning, and his whole group of chatters are pretty much all left wing, except for a few of us right wingers that go in there and you know, try and educate him a little bit. But one of his left wing chatters in there said, oh yeah, Tommy, now you've got a target on your back. Well, what does he mean by that? And how does that make me feel? You know, everybody out here that is a right winger that has anything to say about what's going on in society now has a target on our back. Unbelievable. Okay, that's the show. Thanks a lot for being with us here this morning. Early morning show. That's the update. Officials have provided you with an update. You can go back and review it and listen to everything they had to say. But thanks a lot for chiming in. Appreciate all of your company here this morning. And yeah, oh, Mitch Media. Well, I'll just rewind it and watch it from the beginning there. And we're going to check the rest of the day here. Who knows? I might go live again with just a little hello type thing. But that is pretty sad. I feel sad. I feel almost like crying right now after watching that. Really, I feel sad over the fact that this whole thing has happened. It should never have happened. And we need to do better. Society needs to do better. And you guys on the left, you have to remember, we don't hate people on the, you know, you seem to have in your mind that people on the right hate you. You know, we don't hate you. There's no hate coming from our side. We just don't agree with what you do and with what you're saying. Just because we don't agree, that doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. And that's really all that Charlie was trying to do. But he stuck his neck out too far by being out there in public and by having students come up to the microphone and say their piece or ask him a question or whatever, and to have discussion. But apparently in this world that we live in here, we can't have discussions anymore, and it has to end up with somebody getting a bullet. And this is unacceptable. We have to do better, people. Bye for now.